that we've been on, the work that Iraq Veterans Against the War has been doing, and what that looks like down at Fort Hood, which is currently the largest military base in the country and the most highly deployed base, and what we're doing to fight for service members' rights and how that relates to ending the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. So, but I guess without further ado, the only reason we were able to pull this event together was because of this man, and I think a lot of folks know him. So, from the dirty streets of Baltimore.
We keep it nice and formal around here.
Howdy.
So yeah, so this was a super last minute event. Well, originally it wasn't.
I messed it up. I take full responsibility.
Originally it was fully premeditated, and then it became a last minute event once again. But it's happening, which is cool. Thanks to Jenny here who hooked it up. So I'm touring. I just put out this new CD, and I'm part of this group called the Riot Folk Collective. And yeah, so I'm touring the country, and then I'm touring Europe, and it's very epic and exciting. But I teamed up. I do work with this group called the Civilian Soldier Alliance, which LT will probably tell you about, as well as doing my music. So I'm just going to sing 2 songs to sort of set the tone for what they're going to talk about, and then I'm going to come up and talk about a whole bunch of different things in the form of musical ranting that hopefully you'll enjoy. Rewrite song. I took the lyrics of an old song and rewrote them. A song by a man named Phil Oakes. And I wrote this song because the original song by Phil Oakes is invoking the memory of a soldier who fought in World War II. And the soldier, it's basically the ghost of this soldier who died in World War II. And he's looking at the South in the 50s, and he's saying, like, do you not remember what I fought for, supposedly, what I died for, fighting fascism? This is what my country's doing after that sacrifice. And so I took the song, and I was thinking about a friend of mine, my babysitter growing up, who was killed in Iraq in 2006. And I was thinking about how much he didn't believe in the war that he was fighting in after seeing what it really looked like. And thinking how many soldiers die like that, how many soldiers die not making an ultimate sacrifice for some greater purpose, but who are accidentally killed at doing things they didn't necessarily believe in, or in fact were fully opposed to, but were stuck in the situation. And where's all the memory for them and all the songs for them? Because when the government honors dead soldiers, they only do it in a way that honors the war that they fought in. A lot of soldiers didn't die like that, so I wrote a song for some of those folks. And this is that song. Oh, I am the poor young soldier who caught the IED, occupying folks who hadn't done nothing to me. Took me so quickly that I couldn't feel the pain. Will you show me that I didn't die in vain? Remember me when the blood starts flowing. Remember me when the truth gets pushed around. Remember me when the profit starts growing. Remember me and please don't let me down. Recruited out of high school, they convinced me pretty fast. A bit for the adventure, but mostly for the cash. Just another young soldier caught up in the power game. Will you show me that I didn't die in vain? Remember me when the blood starts flowing. Remember me when the truth gets pushed around. Remember me when the profit starts growing. Remember me and please don't let me down. Now from the bloody streets of Baghdad to the fields of Kandahar, a lot of good folks are trapped in the brutal grip of war. And the only thing that's changing are the names on the graves. Will you show me that I didn't die in vain? Remember me when the blood starts flowing. Remember me when the truth gets pushed around. Remember me when the profit starts growing. Remember me and please don't let me down. So now I'm saying what so many soldiers said before. If you care about a soldier, then stand against the war. Don't let these occupations continue in my name, and show me that I didn't die in vain. Remember me when the blood starts flowing. Remember me when the truth gets pushed around. Remember me when the profit starts growing. Remember me and please don't let me down. Remember me and please don't let me down.
Thank you.
Thanks. So I was going to play another kind of sad song, but I'm just going to play that later, sandwiched in between some hopeful songs. But so we'll sing a song about sabotaging U.S. naval ships, which happened a lot in the Vietnam War. Not much today. But the Navy has less to do. Aircraft carriers have a little less to do with the occupations that we're in right now. But I think it was in 1971, 1972 in the winter there, 3 of the 5 aircraft carriers being used in Vietnam were sabotaged by their own sailors. And at the end of the Vietnam War, a lot of high-tech levels of sabotage started happening because the soldiers were so tired of fighting. They would scramble radar signals or satellite signals or whatever to the pilots so that they were just bombing, bays or forests or whatever instead of bombing villages, which is still awful, dropping a bomb in a forest, which is how we destroyed 70% of Cambodia's rainforest. But it only takes a couple of sailors, sometimes one, to dismantle a ship. And so I wrote this song about those 3 ships that got dismantled and how it happened and why. Gather around, just, wait, I did this last night too. Oh, because I started on C, that's right. I don't usually play this song, I always forget about it. Here we go, okay. Nice and professional. Come gather around, your sailors, soldiers and marines. I'll tell you about some sailors making history. The world's strongest navy was delivering the bombs from the hills of California to the swamps of Vietnam. The USS Anderson was heading off to war. Didn't make it too far, barely left the shore. A little paint scraper in the main reduction gears, and it couldn't do much but sit right there. All hands on deck, let's give 3 cheers to the man who threw the wrench in the gears. Then the USS Forrestal was heading off to war. Didn't make it too far, barely left the shore. Fire to the radar in the middle of the night. Fire to the admiral's quarters, he ain't gonna fight. All hands on deck, let's give 3 cheers to the man who threw the wrench in the gears. Can you imagine if you were the admiral of a ship and you woke up one day to find out that your own soldiers had burned your room and the whole radar system of the ship? And the USS, what's the next one? There's the Anderson, the Forrestal. Yeah, the USS something or other. Some name that's probably named after some dumb dude. Was heading off to war, didn't make it too far, barely left the shore. Bolts and chains in the main reduction gears, and it couldn't do much but sit right there. All hands on deck, let's give 3 cheers to the man who threw the wrench in the gears. The world's strongest navy's got a little glitch. It needs obedient sailors flipping every switch. They sent the country's future off to fight a greedy war, so they took all their equipment and threw it overboard. All hands on deck, let's give 3 cheers to the man who threw the wrench in the gears. So I sang that song just to sort of put it in a historical context, that what you're about to hear about is not anything new, and it wasn't just something that happened during Vietnam. It happened in World War I, it happened in World War II, it happened in the Roman Empire. Soldiers resisted and deserted, and in the American Revolution, there was a lot of soldier activism against people like George Washington. And so, I guess, Aaron, are you going to come up first? So I want to bring up Aaron and LT. Aaron is an Iraq veteran. He's part of Iraq Veterans Against the War. And LT is part of, she's a military family member and part of the Civilian Soldier Alliance. And they're going to tell you about this incredible work that they're doing down at Fort Hood, Texas. And then when they're done, they're talking to some of y'all. We'll have a little break, and then I'll get up and play for 45 minutes or so. And we'll complain about many political issues and celebrate many important things in our history. Thank you.
Thank you.